The 10th Amendment by Kyle Evangelista. The 10th Amendment reads, "The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, or reserved to the states respectively or to the people." In other words, any power not given directly to the government can be assumed that it is given to the states or to the people. It says that anything not given to the federal government or banned by the Constitution is a power of the states. Basic reason why this amendment was ratified was just to put a given law into words. Truism is when something is obvious and says nothing new. The 10th Amendment is often cited and exercised for state laws concerning the use of medicinal marijuana, firearms, state taxes, and other laws which are unique based on individual state law. It was normally called upon to reduce Congress's powers, such as the regulation of commerce, to enforce the 14th Amendment, and to lay and levy taxes. Our founding fathers thought the struggle of power, especially a power struggle between federal and state government, was important. They tried to avoid the type of government the British had over the colonies because they distrusted government power. Anti-federalists such as Patrick Henry, Sam Adams, and Thomas Jefferson opposed the adoption of the Constitution because they thought it would eventually become a strong, centralized state power, which would eventually destroy the individual liberty of people. Due to the persistence and influence the Anti-Federalists had, the 10th Amendment was added to the Constitution. Bond versus the United States. Carol Ann Bond worked for a chemical company. When Carol's friend, Merlinda Haynes, became pregnant with Carol's husband, she lost it. Bond stole and bought highly toxic chemicals, and those were applied to Merlinda's doorknobs, car door handles, and mailbox. Haynes suffered a mild burn and contacted federal investigators. It was deemed that Bond was the suspect. Bond was charged with violating the Chemical Weapons Convention Implementation Act of 1998. The case went to federal court, and Bond opted to fight and dismiss the case. Bond argued that the Congress cannot enforce the act on her because it would negate the states' rights due to the 10th Amendment. The court dismissed the motion, and Bond was sentenced to 6 years in jail. Bond renewed her argument to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, which concluded that Bond didn't have a standing to appeal. The Supreme Court chose to reverse the decision, and it should be considered because it was a good argument. The case was remanded to the U.S. Court of Appeals, and it was decided that it was within Congress's power to enforce the act. Chief Justice John G. Roberts announced it was ruled 6-3. True or false, the 10th Amendment can be used to reduce Congress's powers such as laying and levying taxes. The answer is true.